Okay, that's enough with that right there. Yep. When I was 5 years old, when I was only 5 years old, I saw that video of TLC. T-Boss is the reason why I like light-skinned girls, and T-Boss was my first crush. But we're gonna forget all of that right now. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, here to give you guys the best trolling content YouTube has to offer. Shout out to the Reject Army, Nifnons, Dishwashers, Bedwetters, the Factors of the Black Order, the Gorilla Simps, Falling from Stream Team, the single women on Valentine's Day, the Derek Jackson mistresses, but most importantly, witness the power and the might that is the most dangerous troll on YouTube, as Brother Ray comes in with a $5 super chat saying, "Here comes the boom." Big Mike, he won the Mod of the Day award by being the first person to type in the chat room after the stream has started, so congratulations to him. But I gotta troll somebody today. Because, I'm watching these conversations in the manosphere about women, and I am utterly disappointed in the manosphere. They were talking about balling and tricking and simping, and I'm just so disappointed in the manosphere, because there was a time when dudes had game in the manosphere and they knew how to talk with and deal with females, but they got grown men 50 plus years old with PhDs coming on YouTube crying, and it's just they playing victim. they playing victim. AJC and Red says, "I had the biggest crush on Chili." Now, I started liking Chili when they did the biopic and that one girl played Chili. That's when I started to like Chili. Now I had to go back and look in the past, and I said, okay, Chili is pretty good. Left Eye, unfortunately, was probably one of the only light-skinned women I didn't like. There was something about Left Eye I just didn't like. Maybe it was because T-Boz outshined her. Maybe it was because Chili outshined her. But I just couldn't get into Left Eye. But Chili is also a good one. But we gotta talk about your boy, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. For you guys that don't know who he is, let's see if I can pull a video of him up, because the video we're going to be reacting to. The video we're going to be reacting to is this video right here of him and O'Shea right here. This is the video we're going to be reacting to. Now, you got to understand who Dr. T. Hasan Johnson is in this space, why he's in this space, and how does he get utilized in this space. You see, what dudes in the manosphere love to do when they want to play the black male victim, when they want to play the black male misandry, which is a term created by Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, they like to use Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, but more importantly, his PhD, and they want to slap his PhD down on the table, because I guess it brings some credibility, it brings some intellectualism into the conversation. So brothers love to use Dr. T. Hasan Johnson's PhD. No, he's well spoken for a Negro. No, he isn't hood. No, he's very intelligent. So people love to weaponize Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, but more importantly, they weaponize Dr. T. Hasan Johnson to either try to do their little battles with BWs, or if they're being attacked for being educated like Kevin Samuels did, he tried to weaponize Dr. T. Hasan Johnson and his PhD, when people were questioning his his sexual orientation. No, he tried to bring Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, but the reason people are questioning Kevin Samuels' orientation is because of his mannerism and the style of clothing that he wears and the poses that he does. It doesn't have to do with anything else, but they like to use Dr. T. Hasan Johnson to fight their battles. So they did this stream right here titled, "Why Are So Many Black Men in Sexless Marriages and Relationships?" And I thought my man O'Shea Duke Jackson, I thought he was gonna have, a real conversation with the doctor, but when the conversation started, oh my God, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson was so quick to slap that blackmail victim card, that blackmail misandry card on the table. They didn't talk about, the good stuff. There's a reason why I played those three songs. Let's start off with Wet Ass, the WAP song. I played that song because Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they went through just a small laundry list of what women like to do in the bedroom. You know how these women are nowadays. I won't get into great detail because I don't want the channel to get flagged. But if I wanted to do an X-rated show on this one, I would. Then I also played Kendrick Lamar's Poetic Justice, because when you are involved romantically with a woman, you gotta know how to be romantic. And dudes like Dr. T. Hasan Johnson and Kevin Samuels and the high value men of this space, they refuse to not only cater to their women, but they also refuse to be romantic. I even heard Kevin Samuels said, high value men don't have the time to please their women in the bedroom because they got work, they got businesses to run. If they take an hour, if a high value man is making such and such dollars an hour, he can't take that time with you in the bedroom because you're messing up the money. And we see all these supposedly high value men in this space who have trouble with women, and I thought this was going to be a great conversation. I thought we was going to have that talk that we were supposed to be having, that talk that Man of Tomorrow is running from, that Game Changer is running from, that Obsidian is running from, that so many Negroes in this space is running from. But we're going to have a little bit of that conversation today because these dudes, they don't know how to be romantic and now be sexual with their own wives, and they find themselves in sexless marriages or relationships. See, the problem with dudes in this space, in particular the high value men and people who follow the Kevin Samuels, the Obsidian doctrine, is sex has become transactional. And when sex is transactional, when you out here tricking, see, there's a difference between balling and tricking, but when you out here paying for the pussy, you're gonna have problems. Now, when you first pay for it, it's good. But when you married and you paying for pussy and your relationship with your wife is transactional, let me show you guys what happens when you are in one of these transactional relationships. You guys know the movie Set It Off? Y'all know the movie Set It Off. Y'all know the scene I'm about to play. That's right, Nate. I'm in a bind. We're going to look at that scene and we're going to break down why these Negroes are in sexless relationships. Let's go ahead and start. Let's roll the clip. Let's roll the clip. See if I can use this one right here.
Well, it depends. I mean, you can make, 2 G's a month on commission.
I can make that much?
Yeah. I told you needed to get with somebody who could help you.
Nate, before I come work for you,
Yeah.
I need an advance. There's a little problem that I need to fix.
Ah. I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. But I mean, Stoney Newsom gotta give me a reason to do that. You know what I mean?
And what would that be?
Oh, come on now, you know. Let's go for a ride, huh?
Your boy Nate, he trying to work the game. As UC comes through with a $5 super chat says, "Damn, O'Shea, collaborating with Professor Johnson, he officially took all of Angry Man's friends now." But this is your boy, Big Game Nate right here, about to make a transaction with the female.
So when do I get my advance?
Oh, I don't know. Tomorrow, maybe the day after.
Look, Nate, before I do this, I want my check.
Hey, whoa, look. You not getting no check from me until I'm done, you understand?
Y'all hear that? See, this is the problem with these high value dudes and these tricking Negroes have, They gotta pay to get the pussy, And when they do, these so-called tricks, they're not fulfilled, Because if they were fulfilled, they would keep tricking and they wouldn't be crying about BWs and how they're not submissive and how they're not doing this and how they're not doing that. And, if dudes was really satisfied tricking, they would just be tricking. But we know what's about to happen. Now they fighting over the money. We got Nate over here talking about you get paid when I'm done. See, just no game. But let's go ahead and get to the good part.
This ain't right. It's not even worth it.
You see that right there. See, this the problem. This the problem with the high value men and the wives that they select. See, before they ask them to marry them, this and that, these so-called women, they reevaluate their lives. They reevaluate their situations. They gotta work, they're having a hard time paying bills, they're in poverty, so they see a high value man and they think they see a way out. But you can see the desperation, they're not there for the love, they're not there for the romance, they're not there for the sex, they're not there for the happiness, they are there for a check. Because like your girl Jada Pinkett's about to say, Nate, I'm in a bind. Let me back it up 10 seconds so you can just feel the whole situation as she reevaluates her whole life.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Some other time.
really need this money, Nate.
Let's stop the show right here. Let's stop the show. We gotta stop the show right here. And the reason why we gotta stop the show, cause I bet you anything, when these so-called Negroes are in these sexless relationships, these sexless marriages, the last time they was hitting that thing, hitting the pussy, so-called, as they would say, laying the pipe. This is what it looked like right here. The girl not into it. The girl looking off. She not moaning. He not grabbing, pulling no hair. He not wearing that thing out. He not spanking. He not doing none of anything that we heard that was in the WAP song. This is how dudes is out here in the manosphere. This is how they get down in the bedroom. It's right here. It's right here. As my man Brother Ray says, some women don't be in love but need help. This is the problem Dr. T. Hasan Johnson was having. It's right here. Oh, I didn't want to hit that button. Let's back it up.
Hey, Stoney, look, girl.
Let's see if I can find it.
Andrews.
There we go. So these dudes who are in these sexless relationships, this is what it looks like, and they keep wondering why they're in a sexless relationship or marriage. This is why your stroke game is weak. Your stroke game is weak. Your wordplay is weak. Your romance is weak. You don't know what you doing. So when I saw this video with O'Shea and Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, I just knew we was going to have a real conversation. But let's just go ahead and roll the tape.
About.
What's good, people? Hope everybody's well. Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. I'm Associate Professor of Africana Studies at Fresno State. I am a lead scholar and founder of the Institute for Black Male Studies, and I have the Onyx Report. You can find the Onyx Report with Dr. T. Hasan Johnson right here on YouTube. So that's what's up.
You see that right there. You see when I do my live streams, when I jump on people panels, when I do interviews, this, that, and the third, I don't have to run down my resume. When I get up here and do my trolling, I don't go through the whole list of everybody that I trolled and doxed in the past. No, I let the talking points to speak for themselves. But when you are a doctor, PhD, you gotta let everybody know. You gotta let everybody know what the school you got your PhD from, the school that you work at, the classes you teach, the building you at, the staff that you are a part on. You gotta run down your whole resume.
All right, and I do thank you, brother. I know you're a very busy person for coming back and talking to us. Last conversation that we had centered on how the system started the gender war between black men and black women.
Right.
But to make it more of a personal, and I know you're an academic, and I'm asking you a lot for this particular topic, but you touched on it on your page, so I figured that I might, be a nuisance on the topic, and that is a lot of African American men, despite being looked at as guys who are sexual conquerors, guys who have a lot of game, a lot of swag. We have a lot of our brothers with, doesn't matter what their age or education or looks are. We have a lot of African American men that are in sexless. Come a little wider, maybe a little.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. Hold on.
Ships or men.
So my man, Legendary Proof, said he like 750 pounds. Of course, he said a sexless marriage. See, when I thought they was gonna have this conversation, when I got the notification that the great Dr. T. Hasan Johnson was gonna come, I just knew he was gonna talk about dudes gotta get in shape, dudes gotta know how to romance a woman, do that to a woman, this, that, and third, how to get it done. I just knew he was gonna give the brother some much needed help, but this is what happened.
Marriages.
Right.
Okay. Now, how did you even come up? I saw you talk about this a little bit on your page. How did you even come up with this particular idea or topic?
Well, I mean, I went through it myself. I mean, I was married for 9 years. I was with my wife for 11. She passed away about it's about 12 years now. But at the time, we were married for 9, and the last 5 of those years were pretty much sex. But not only sexless, like no intimacy at all. I mean, no.
Stop the show right here. So your boy, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, he has firsthand knowledge. Now, condolences to the passing of your wife. I'm sure she was a great woman. We don't want to distract her. We don't want to disrespect her name, but we gotta talk about the sexless marriage. You gotta tell us, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, the last 5 years, no love making. What happened to the romance? But more importantly, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, there had to be some romance before you married her. No, when you courted this woman to be your wife, before this woman had your kids, there had to be some romance. So can you explain to the brothers how you were able to land such a impressive and worthy woman like your wife? I mean, if we gonna talk about why these sexist marriages are happening, we gotta get some background. We gotta know, well, when things were going on, what kind of things did y'all do for each other? That's what I thought I was going to hear, but this is what I heard.
How you doing? No hugs. And we just really we're at a point where, I heard it in a movie once, we were like 2 strangers running a small daycare. I mean, it's pretty much where it had gotten to. And the brother who I was interviewing on my show, the reason I brought him on is I was interviewing him prior to that in another medium. And while I was setting up, we started talking about it, and he had actually gone through it for 10 years. So he was just coming out of a marriage where he was in it for 10. I have other friends who've gone through it for the same amount of time, multiple friends who've gone through it for up to 20 years. And all of these brothers are accomplished, intelligent, degreed, capable, and, in their fields, they're what, high value, 100,000 plus and consistently so. But, once they got married, everything changed. So, yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened if all these men, this is the problem with these high value Negroes. They put all of their value based on the career, what they're doing on the job, the type of degrees they got, the houses they bought. But you will never hear Dr. T. Hasan Johnson have a conversation with these brothers, and they talk about the romance part of the relationship. We understand that a lot of these brothers been in sexless marriages for 10 years, 15 years, but at some point, because these same Negroes got 3-4 kids, so there's gotta be some, oh shit, give me the booty clapping sounds, no homo. Somebody's gotta explain to me How did the romance start? The brothers need some pointers because once the romance gets started, you got to do things to keep it going. I mean, these so-called high-value men, I see them on Kevin Samuel's show all the time. They will tell the BW that when you get married, you still got to compete. But when it's time for the brothers in these same marriages, no, you still gotta compete. You still gotta be spontaneous. You still gotta be romantic. You gotta be nasty and naughty sometimes. These brothers, they don't want to have that conversation for some reason. They will skip that conversation and they'll have this conversation right here.
This is something that I've heard for a while. But how do you think? I know that you talked about it yourself, but if you can estimate, because obviously a lot of black men, if you were to ask them if they're having sex with their wife, I mean, most guys probably would lie. But how often do you think our brothers are going through such a relationship or a marriage?
You know, it's hard to say specifically on the basis of race, but I can say, you know, Newsweek magazine, you know, framed it around 15 to 20% of relationships are sexless relationships. You know, studies show that 10% or less of the married population below the age of 50 have not had sex in the past year. And in addition, less than 20% reported having sex a few times per year or even monthly under the age of 40. So I can't tell you in casual conversation how many brothers I've talked to where they can count on one hand how many times they've had sex in like the last 2 years. Some of whom are married, some are in long-term, you know, relationships where they're monogamous. And I think it's more frequent than we think because in many ways there aren't a lot of places for men to go to talk to people or even each other about that. Like most of the time those conversations start because, you know, as an academic, I just put things on the table and just, you know, engage people. But a lot of the times these brothers don't talk to anybody about it. They're just living in these silent hells and, you know, there's nowhere they can go with it. And it leaves brothers with very few options. Cause I know, you know, when I was going through it, I was like, there's 3 conclusions. I could either bury my head in the sand and just pretend like nothing's wrong. And I know a lot of brothers live in that life, you know, where they are just and they'll tell you, I'm happy in every area of my life. My wife won't let me touch her. So you could just bury your head on the sand, act like nothing's wrong. You can cheat and hope you don't get caught. But contrary to popular, you know, belief, not everybody is a master player. Most people end up getting caught on one level or another. And then you end up running into what you dealt with the lead attorney in one of your prior videos. You divorce. That's the 3rd option. So those are like the 3 major options. There is a 4th option where if you have the wherewithal, you might be able to negotiate with your wife into like an open situation. But, you know, that one's a bit precarious. It depends on the person. Well, those are the only options.
Stop the show right there, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. What the hell are you talking about? That's what I want to know. The problem is you are in a sexless relationship with your wife. You give 4 options. 4 options you gave Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. Bury your head in the sand, go cheat, get a divorce, or ask your wife for an open relationship. Those were the 4 options you gave Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. I did not hear the 5th option, which should have been the first option, trying to figure out a way to rekindle, to respark the fire of the relationship with your wife. No, you could go to a sex therapist. I mean, we got sex therapists here in this space on YouTube. If you having problems with your wife in a sexless relationship, you need to hobble your muppet ass over to the Bomb Cherry channel. Give her some money, buy one of her packages, and have Bomb Cherry sit down with you and your wife so y'all can work together to fix the lack of sex happening in your relationship. But a thinking black man, a logical black man, a degreed black man who's having a problem with his wife, of all the options he gave to solve that problem, not one of those options was having an open and honest conversation with the wife about the problem. This is where we are at in the black manosphere. We don't even want to solve problems. We want to bury our head in the sands. We want to go to Costa Rica. We want to go to Brazil. We want to go to South America and trick and buy one of them fine honeys over there. We want to ask to be in an open relationship, as sexless is option number one. Hire a hitman. We want to do everything we want to do instead of having that conversation with the wife so we could come to an understanding. You had the conversation with your wife when you got down on your knee and proposed to her. Why can't you have that same conversation to re-spark the fire in the relationship?
Options that I found at the time, and I wasn't interested in seeing my son every other weekend. I wasn't interested in getting divorced, because of the repercussions. I was concerned, about a lot of that. So a lot of guys I meet are afraid to get divorced. They're afraid of what can happen to them if they do. And that's the other thing that gets real twisted about this, man, is that even though they're married and their wives are not interested in many different instances, they will still get punished. So there's still a kind of a possessive thing that takes place where, if they get caught cheating, it's all out, in terms of what kind of punitive, practices she can bring to bear on him for stepping out, even though she ain't touched him in X amount of years. It's a confusing dynamic, but a lot of guys find themselves in those situations.
Stop the show right there, because somebody said, let's see if I can find it. My boy Real Game says they want to be Derek Jackson instead. So your wife doesn't want to be intimate with you. Your first repercussion is to turn into Derek Jackson.
We just don't know how to talk about it or who to talk about it with.
Let me ask a question, because when I've heard women, especially like black women, that may have said, well, the reason why I'm not having sex with him is he cheated on me, and right now, and I'm hurt, and I'm still haven't found the way to get back with him in that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know that could be, it sounds like I won't even say it's like the because I can understand for like about a month or two or so like that, but like for years I don't understand that. But in many cases, why are some of the reasons from the men that I know you've experienced it yourself, but what were some of the reasons that these men, because obviously you talk to your wife or you talk to your partner about this sexless relationship that's going on or no intimacy, what are some of the reasons that the wife gives as to why they don't want to do it?
There are a number of reasons. Some that she'll give, some that
my boy O'Shea, he asked a good question. When you talk to the wife and she don't want to have sex with you, what are some of the reasons she's giving?
She won't, some that you figure out. But mismatched sexual libidos, lack of communication, childbirth, antidepressants, hyposexual desire disorder, or low sex drive, history of sexual abuse. A lot of women deal with that. where they've been sexually abused, raped, or violated even when they were young. And a lot of men deal with that as well, by the way. So porn addiction, grief, vaginal dryness, even due to menopause, body image issues, financial problems, all of these things contribute to the dynamic. But you raised a significant one, and that's trust. Now, sometimes there's a reason where that's in place, where if you stepped out on her and she doesn't trust you, sometimes that you've done nothing and she just doesn't trust you for her own reasons, whatever insecurities might be at play with her. So even when we say trust as an issue, as far as where women are coming from, it doesn't necessarily mean that a man has done something. It can simply mean that she believes he has, or is worried about the fact that she has, and she's withdrawn from him emotionally and disconnected. And, often there's no conversation about it. You intimated this a little bit earlier. It'll go from a few days to a few weeks to a few months. And, and I know in my situation, I tried everything. I tried conversation. I tried candlelight dinners. I tried therapy. I tried arguments. I thought, hey, maybe I'll piss her off and she'll say something.
Stop the show right there, because Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, he went through a whole laundry list of why a woman will turn down sex, and then as it went days, weeks, months, he tried everything. He tried starting arguments. He tried candlelit dinners. Nothing for him worked. Nothing for your boy, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson worked.
At the end of the day, I never found out, and I've engaged a lot of brothers that just don't know why. Even after therapy, couples therapy, still haven't been given a straightforward reason. So there are some reasons that you can kind of, pull out, and there are situations sometimes where you just never find out. And it just is what it is. So, and then a lot of people stay in their marriages because, they got kids. And I found this to be the case with Black men in general. And this is also in relation to the brother I had on my show talking about it, Dr. Gamble. They stayed in their marriages mainly so that their kids could have some kind of functional framework. Because part of the problem is, and I think this even contributes to sexlessness in marriage, most of us in the Black community here in America, we're not raised having seen a functional marriage. Most of the time we haven't. We don't know what it looks like to deal with someone every day. We don't know how is it different to argue with someone that you're married to every day, or disagree, or show affection. We don't see that. What we have is television shows, music videos, people coming into relationships with imaginations. And this is where it gets deep. You got people who have been, and especially women, I've noticed, who have been imagining what marriage is going to be like since they were 4 years old. So this is a 25, 30, 35-year-old woman, sometimes even in their 40s, and they're getting married for the first time, and they're bringing to bear all of these ideas about what they thought marriage is. And so are we as men. And a lot of times it's just a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misdirection. We don't often know how to talk about what those expectations are. I mean, I've seen brothers get married, and one brother in particular, his wife quit her job one day. Now, she was making 6 figures. He was making 40. She quit her job and came home with a box of her stuff. And he was like, what are you doing? She said, well, I quit. And he said, well, why? She said, well, because you're supposed to take care of me. And he was like, well, I make $40,000. And she, and so over the course of a few months, she became more and more frustrated at the quality of their lifestyle. But she didn't do the maths. It didn't dawn on her about that. What she was responding to was the belief she's had since she was 5, that her husband was going to be this magical guy who was going to make her to take care of her and live this lush lifestyle. So even though logically it made no sense, she wasn't functioning on logic. She was functioning on this longstanding fantasy that she put to you and had never talked to him about.
Stop the show right there. Stop the show right there, because your boy went on a tangent. He told this story about a woman leaving her job, and husband was making $40,000, and somehow the relationship fell apart and became a sexless relationship. He talked about Black people not being raised in two-parent households. I mean, it's a lot of stuff Dr. T. Hasan Johnson said. It sounds like to me from the way Dr. T. Hasan explains it. If you find yourself in one of these situations right here where you're in a sexless marriage, there ain't a damn thing you can do, because the woman, she got some fantasies in her head, you know. She had this idea of what marriage was supposed to be, and it's not that. So, you know, her vagina is dried up, you know, because she's going through her menstrual cycle. You know, she's been abused when she was younger. You know, she thinks you cheated on her, even though you didn't cheat on her. She don't trust you. I mean, there's a lot of excuses for why you Negroes are in these sexless relationships. And I was just at work listening to this conversation right here. Shout out to my man O'Shea for keeping me entertained for 45 minutes. Listen to Dr. T. Hasan Johnson break down how he's in these sexless relationships, but he has yet to talk about how things were going when there was sex in the relationship, where there was affection in the relationship. Should you try new things, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, or Dr. T. Hasan Johnson? Were you just hitting it missionary? I mean, the people just want to know. The people just want to have the whole conversation. We understand your point. I mean, you're gonna play the victim card. You're gonna play the, oh, there's nothing black men can do to solve this issue they're having with their wives. There's absolutely nothing they could do. Just go ahead and play it.
He had no idea until she walked in the door with a box full of her stuff. So this is how marriages can kind of play into this as well. We come to the table with deep-seated beliefs that aren't realistic at times, and we've held on to them for decades, but we don't often know how to talk about it. So this kind of impacts us. And then something Kevin was talking about very recently, Kevin Samuels, he was talking about the ways in which women are socialized to hold off on marriage until they put their careers together and get to a certain level in the black community. And this has, a seriously negative effect on marriages. It generally leaves a lot of women unprepared and competing with much younger women, and much of the time they lose out on that. The standards tend to be very unrealistic in terms of what they're looking for. And as he points out, they price themselves out of the market. But another dynamic, another aspect to that in regard to sexless marriage, even when they do get married, you're talking often about women who have had years more experience than women that get married younger. So they've had more experience. They've been with a variety of different men. That impacts their ability to pair bond. But on top of that, they also have this bar on what they believe to be the daily amount of excitement they need in a relationship. And when you get married life is a whole different pace. You are not at the club every week. You are not traveling around the world every week. It is a slower pace. And so you have some people that have gotten so used to functioning at a certain level. It's like playing video games for 12 hours and then trying to read a book. That's a lot of people can't make that transition, and that's what tends to happen. So the marriage is
stop the show right there. Stop the show right there, because now you're starting to expose yourself, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. I mean, you tried to play the whole Kevin Samuels, the whole danger zone. Women above 30, above 40, hitting the wall, and even though they're getting passed over for the younger one when they do get married, the married life isn't as exciting no more. Oh, that's right, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. That's right. You gotta when you get married, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, and you got yourself that fly little honey, you may have a couple of kids, but you gotta keep the excitement going on in the relationship. You gotta have an imagination, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. You gotta have an imagination on how you are gonna be intimate, how you're gonna show affection, how you're gonna be sexual with your wife for years to come down the road. You know, the same plan that you put into, going into college, getting a PhD, you study, you take the test. I mean, it's boring. But you put a plan together and you executed that plan, and now you're teaching at Fresno State. Well, it's the same thing with a relationship. You got to put together a daily plan. You got to set goals in the relationship, because you certainly don't want to be going 3 years, 4 years without being intimate with your partner, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. So you got to do things on the daily, on the weekly, to keep things, keep the fire going. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but Cardi B, TLC, all these different singers, they are literally putting what women want sexually in these songs. I mean, you got forums on Facebook, you got different sex groups on Facebook, you got other couples who can help you out. You got swingers, you just gotta find your lane and with your wife, and you should know your wife like the back of your hand before you ask her to marry you. I would hope that these would be conversations that you would have with her. But unfortunately, brothers like you and other brothers who find themselves in the situation, they get caught up in work, this and that, and they don't communicate with their significant other. And when they find themselves in these sexless marriages, now they want to play victim. I'm going to let it play. I'm going to check out the chat room right here. Mama Rain says you can't get your wife to give you the kitty, and it's a woman's fault.
Is viewed as boring. The sex, familiarity breeds contempt already as it is in terms of human nature. So you're with the same person every day. And so, sometimes, and this can happen to men too. You just get bored. That can be a factor, so there's and another factor. And I don't have any statistics on how often this happens. Some women enjoy the power dynamic of being able to not only control when and how often sex occurs, but they'll use sex as a form of reward or punishment based on whether or not she can control him to the degree she would like to. So that's a factor nobody wants to talk about. Because when you really look at...
Stop the show, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. You are exposing yourself, brother man. Did you just say that women take the pussy off the table as a punish reward system? Did you know, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, that men at any point could take the D off the table as a punish reward system? Did you know there's other things you could do as a punish reward system? I mean, there's women in the chat room right now, and they will tell you they love the rewards. Oh, but they love being punished. But I know, you Negroes aren't about game, Sir Ism tried to help you out, Platinum Elite tried to help you out, Steve the Dean tried to help you out, ARC tried to help you out, Alpha Male Strategies tried to help you. All these people tried to help y'all brothers out so y'all won't be in these sexless relationships, but y'all swear up and down we don't believe in game. And since you don't believe in game, now you trying to figure out why you going 10 years without no poom poom.
The marital industry, like the counseling and therapy industry in regard to sexless marriages and sex therapy in general, a lot of it is by women for women. So if you Google sexless marriages, what you'll find are a number of articles written by women and female therapists, and many of them are designed to protect women's reputations, protect women at all costs, try and defeat and downplay arguments by men in particular about their wives. It's set up in a way that's very pro woman, it's very gynocentric, and it's inherently misandric to varying degrees, because it comes in refuting and fighting with men who don't really have a place to say, look, my wife shut down and I don't know why. And I haven't done anything to her. I'm doing everything I'm told to do, and it's making it worse, if not keeping it the same. See, so,
we gotta stop the show right there, because you said a lot there, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. Now you wanna cry about the gynocracy. Now you gonna blame the gynocracy as to why these dudes can't get laid by their wives. You want to play the black male misandry card. You want to talk about feminism now. Okay. I'm going to go let you explain yourself and expose yourself, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson.
so even the therapeutic industry, the counseling and therapy industry, is catered around women. It really, and I went through this even individually, not even just on a collective fashion. I'm talking about it even on an individual basis. We couldn't find very many male, let alone black male counselors. Black male counselors are maybe about 1% of the industry. And when you get to a point where even your wife, who's upset at you during a therapy session, can turn and look at you and say, you know what? Damn, that therapist is really anti-male. When your wife can say that in a counseling session, that lets you know, you're dealing with a therapist that has been trained in a way where they only see things from the women's vantage point. So that's kind of, it's structured in to the very framework on how many of them are trained. They're trained from a vantage point of, women being victims of male aggression and so on and so forth. So they're trained in a way where they're coming in looking to defend women in many instances and get men to see the problem from women's vantage point. It's very, very seldom balanced.
Stop the show right there. Stop the show right there, because you said a lot. You said a lot, and there's a couple of things I want to touch on. Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, you having problems with sexual relations with your wife. You want it to happen more often. Out of all the places you go to somebody who went to one of these universities, got one of these fancy degrees from these universities that you claim is very gynocratic in nature. You paid all this money and you are dumbfounded that therapist would take your woman's side. But forget all that. Just throw that to the side. That's not even the point I want to make. The point I want to make to you. Then they tell you how to cater to your woman, how to please your woman, and that's not good enough for you. See, there's something that the game Eagles they trying to tell you. When you please your woman and you make her feel good, she'll return that to you. But you gotta get on the same wavelength, the same sexual energy with your woman. So there's different things you can do. Unfortunately, a therapist who sits in a suit and tie and a clipboard and listens to the wife and listens to the husband and take notes and gives a recommendation, that's not the person you want to talk to, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. But you have a PhD. You should know this. The kind of professional help you should be seeking is going to somebody who makes you and your wife take each other's clothes off and get intimate so you could rekindle that fire. Morgan Freeman says if you listen closely, you can hear a midget playing the violin while he speaks. A very sad state of affairs. I mean, for this dude, PhD, degree, all the money in the world to not be able to solve this very simple problem, but comes to the black manosphere and blames the gynocracy. What this interview was, this is what we call trauma bonding. This is what was on display right here. Trauma bonding. There was no problem solved, nothing to move, go for. They literally blamed women in the gynocracy for the failures of being in a sexless relationship with a woman who they got on their knee and asked for their hand in marriage. At no point did you hear O'Shea ask or Dr. T. Hasan Johnson explain, how did you vet your wife? Were you guys sexual compatible? Were you guys into different things? Did you guys try different things? When things went awry, did you talk about it? What specifically did you talk about? No. What you hear is trauma bonding. Well, I was talking to the other brothers, having the same situation. Some went 10 years without having, some went 12, some went 15. We were all scared of getting divorced because, we didn't want to lose half. We were too terrified to cheat because if we got caught cheating, then our wife would divorce us. I tried to ask my wife I wanted to ask my wife, if I could be in an open relationship, but I didn't have the heart to ask her. So I just buried my head in the sand. I just dealt with the problem. This is what we're hearing from the black manosphere.
Let me ask you this, because you said that in certain brothers' cases, we're not talking about average guys here. We're talking about guys who are highly educated, who you think they're well sought after. Because a lot of times in the manosphere, what you hear, not from everybody, but hey, go out there, earn a lot of money, and improve yourself, get in shape, earn. Women are going to be all over you.
Right. That was the promise. That's what we were told. Right.
Which is why, guys like me and you from the West Coast is why we work so hard to try to get to where we're at, and only to find out that So how many guys do you think that? I mean, and we all know that because we think that this is a class issue. The more money that you have, you don't have to go through this. You don't have to have these problems, because if you're a high value black man, you're not experiencing this. As a PhD and you have a illustrious number of colleagues and stuff like that, how do you think that class is a big factor in sexless marriages?
I don't personally think so. I think part of the issue we're dealing with is how marriage has been redefined, particularly since the 1960s and 70s, right? Really 70s. It's post second wave feminism. Because what second wave feminism basically did is it taught women that marriage in and of itself was a form of slavery, right? That you were especially, you know, white women in the suburbs, you were living in gilded cages. You know, if you were married and you had to service your husband, and service could mean anything from cooking, cleaning to having sex. So this kind of view that marriage was inherently a negative is kind of what we had in Western culture, and it really merged and took hold, right? And what it ended up doing is by the time you got to the 1980s, you started to see this new dynamic where women could, like, if you took labor, women could work full-time, part-time, they could work from home, not at all, be a housewife. You know, women had all of these new dynamics, that were all acceptable, right? But if men did anything other than work full-time, it was considered a travesty of justice. Like, men were inherently a problem, right? So marriage was redefined between the late 60s and the 1980s in a way that suited women, because what it did is it allowed them to enjoy the privilege of shifting to whatever position they wanted to, but they didn't have any responsibilities. As a matter of fact, any kind of responsibility on their part was looked at as a form of oppression. So if you talk about duty in marriage, right? Duty in any kind of way in terms of your obligation to your husband, that was seen negatively. But we had no problem talking about duty and obligation for men in marriage. Your duty and obligation was to protect, provide, and even if you were in a religious context, minister, you know, to your family, to the extent that you didn't violate whatever she, you know, regarded as her space. But they look good on paper. You can minister to the family. But these were the ideas, right? You had to protect, provide, and in some cases minister. But as far as women were concerned, they really had no forthright duties anymore. Any kind of duty is viewed as negative. So you couldn't say you have a duty to your husband to have sex. You couldn't say you had a duty to cook, clean, or take care of the family. You couldn't have. They didn't have a duty to provide. They had no. You know, they had the freedom to kind of
Stop the show, Dr. T. Hasan. Stop the show. So if these women who were getting married didn't serve their husband by doing traditional roles because second wave feminism and they don't need a man, well, I gotta ask you, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, why did you marry him then? Why do the brothers marry these women who aren't gonna perform traditional duties? I remember when Obsidian said, this was way back when Obsidian was at the top of his game. He said women who don't get in line and do whatever the traditional duties, whatever their responsibilities were, Obsidian said they should drown in their own blood. And what Obsidian meant by drown in their own blood is that those women should be allowed to fend for themselves. If they can't listen or get on a man's program, then they should stay alone. But as the years passed and went on, we see that too many of you Negroes are still wifing up these women who make it clear that they're not going to perform whatever traditional duties or be under a leadership of a husband. Y'all still wife them up. Y'all still get married to them. You vet the woman. You know, you want her to look good, you know, sexual compatibility. No, she's a good mother. Then can she get in line with your program? No, you have all these lists of standards. And if she meets the list of standards, then you marry her. But a lot of you dudes, you get with these women. She may have a big booty. She may have 2 of the 10. You say, damn, she only got 2 of the 10 standards I really want, but she got that big booty. I'ma marry her anywhere. Then you end up in a sexless marriage, or you end up divorced, or she end up cheating on you, and you wonder why. You picked the wrong woman because you wasn't patient enough. At the end of the day, you just wasn't patient enough. at the end of the day. But I'm going to let you get back to this soup salad right here. I'm going to let you explain it.
Cherry pick from gender roles what they wanted from men's and women's gender roles. But when it came to obligation or duty, that was all on men, and women were free to create it as they saw fit. And that still kind of exists to this day, because when you listen to people talk about what marriage is, we have very clear ideas on what men need to do. But when you really get down to brass tacks, what are women's responsibilities, and what responsibilities do you hear women talking about that they have in marriage?
Stop the show right there, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, because we got to have an honest conversation. As Sicklet says, GMT, tell them about Mary Palm and her 5 sisters. I'm going to tell you like this, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. It's very clear what men need to do in a marriage. And it's also very clear what women need to do in a marriage. And if they don't want to do it, you don't marry them. But too many of you Negroes are marrying these women who are not gonna do their wifely duties, and now they sitting up here looking just like you, looking real dumb in the face right now.
You'll find very few that can lay that out. Even during the dating phase, you find very few that can lay it out in dating. I mean, you're expected to provide and pay for the dates and come up with creative and romantic ways to sweep her off her feet. What are her obligations? And if we really want to take it further, that even applies to the bedroom. Men's sexual value is often defined on how he can make her feel, right? What he can do to, and this starts young. This starts in middle school and in high school, where you have boys that are expected to know what to do. And, if a girl doesn't know what to do, it kind of goes with her chastity. But if a man doesn't know what to do, or a male doesn't know what to do at any age, it's a problem. And
Right.
That continues on even into adulthood. You have to please her. And many Black men have been socialized in a way where the way we even define our masculinity is based on how.
Oh, we gotta stop the show right. Let me back. I gotta hear that one more time. Cause somebody messed up again.
You'll find very few that can lay that out. Even during the dating phase, you find very few that can lay it out in dating. I mean, you're expected to provide and pay for the dates and come up with creative and romantic ways to sweep her off her feet.
Oh, but at the same time, the woman, no, she's got to come up with creative dates. She's got to sweep the men off her feet as well. It works both ways.
What are her obligations? And if we really want to take it further, that even applies to the bedroom. Men's sexual value is often defined on how he can make her feel.
Oh,
Right?
but also a woman's sexual value is also dependent on how she could make her man feel in the bedroom. I mean, we heard Cardi B, she wants to gag, she wants to choke, she wants you to touch that thing on the back of her throat. You know. Cardi B talking about how she gonna write it and spell her name as she's right. I mean, the women are doing their part. They have a part to do in the bedroom. It's just not all on the men. In fact, if you listen to the game, Negroes, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, they will tell you that if the woman doesn't satisfy her man, the experience to her isn't that pleasurable. Let me say that again for you, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. If the woman doesn't satisfy her man or bring him to orgasm, the sexual experience for her isn't as satisfying. But I guess they're not teaching y'all that in sex education. What they're teaching y'all is this.
What he can do to, and this starts young. This starts in middle school and in high school, where you have boys that are expected to know what to do. And, if a girl doesn't know what to do, it kind of goes with her chastity. But if a man doesn't know what to do, or
the girl, the girl gotta know. Hold on. We gotta get X-rated. Did somebody send something? Okay, we gotta get X-rated on what the girl need to do. We gotta get X-rated. It's Mr. Nasty time. Oh, where do I start? Where do I begin? See, the first thing the women gotta do is she gotta know how to do a striptease. She gotta know how to crawl on the floor. She gotta know how to get on her knees in a sexy position. Hold on. Y'all don't hear me. Let me see if I could go ahead and show you a picture real quick. Can I find this picture real quick? Where is it? I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go. That's what I want to see right there. The girl gotta know how to crawl on the floor and move that body in a sexual way. I mean, these dudes, they get on YouTube just lying. They get on YouTube just lying, just telling all kind of lies. Oh, these women, they don't have no expectation in that realm. It's all predicated on the man. Oh no, we're going to have a real conversation today. SS says, please stop showing that nut job. Star Cream says, stop the cap, GMT. Most of these dudes have a... Oh no. I know we not having sex with the lights. So I know. Oh no. I know we not doing the nasty in the complete blackness. We just can't be. I mean, the only time the light should be off is when you put the blindfolds on and you can't see anything. That's the only time things should really be pitch black. But I know y'all. I know y'all high value, man. Y'all don't know. You guys are noobs in the bedroom. I know. But let's get back to what the women gotta do. Striptease, they gotta be able to crawl on the floor. They gotta be able to get on the knees. They gotta be able to back that ass up. They gotta be able to ride. They gotta be able to give a little tongue action. They gotta be able how to deep throat. They gotta know how to look back at it. They gotta know how to submit. They gotta know how to talk dirty. They gotta know how to moan. Oh, I'm giving you a whole laundry list of what women are expected to do. They gotta know how to wear. They gotta have some type of sexual lingerie. They gotta have hair that you can pull. I mean, the list is so long. I could keep going, but I'd rather listen to your boy, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, just cap and list off a whole bunch of bullshit. That's exactly what this is, right? It's nothing but bullshit.
Male doesn't know what to do at any age. It's a problem. And that continues on even into adulthood. You have to please her. And many black men have been socialized in a way where the way we even define our masculinity is based on how well we can appease and please women. That becomes the measure of our masculinity in many ways, which is one of the unique things about the manosphere, where the conversation is shifting and men are saying, well, wait a minute, what exactly do I get out of this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So if we have sex for 4 hours straight and I'm doing things to you and you're screaming and your hair is popping off and your toenails is what exactly do I get? And the answer is pretty much you get to be with her. So your obligation to her is your reward. Her reward is whatever you do to her. And if you don't meet her standard, she goes to find another, and your reputation might even suffer. But it's a one-way.
So wait a minute, Dr. T. Hasan. Wait a minute, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. I'm not gonna let you tell that lie. You telling me you in the bedroom for 4 hours. You doing everything to the woman. She's screaming, toes curling, she's squirting over the whole bed. And you mean to tell me she ain't did nothing to you? You ain't gave her no instructions to follow? You ain't gave your woman instructions to follow in the bed. You didn't tell her to get on top. You didn't flip her upside down. I mean, come, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, at some point, O'Shea Du Jackson, you gotta have the Grandmaster Troll come up, because at some point, we gotta have a real conversation. I mean, we up here capping. We up here cap. He said 4 hours of love making. He's saying he didn't get nothing from it. 4 hours, G. Four hours. My man Starscream says 4 hours erect. WTF. Time for the good doctor to call a doctor. We got the real gamer saying he talking like a virgin. I mean, this is where we are at in the manosphere. I gotta question the stroke game. I gotta question the sex game. I gotta question the ability of these Negroes in this space. I gotta question it, because if you come on a live stream talking like this, you are exposing yourself. I mean, there should have been people in the chat room saying, oh, Shay, end this. This ain't a good look for your boy. Cut the stream. Cut the stream. Cut it. Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, get out of here. No. Keep it on the down low. Some secrets are better taken to the grave, but he came on the live stream and he put this on tape right here.
It's a one-way dynamic, and that's kind of the problem. So from how we interpret sex, even to how it works out in marriage, it ends up kind of building off of that. So you by the time you even get married, again, your value is not only based on how well you can provide, but how well you function in bed. But it's a one-way value. It's not considered a two-way street, really.
Let me ask you. You made a great point that women are obligated to do anything, but men are. So when you were in your 5-year sexless marriage, you were required to still. I'm assuming you couldn't be like, okay, well look, you're not gonna give me the boot. Okay, cool. I'm not paying the house note.
Nah, man, that wasn't. I was in grad school, and I was working full time plus 3 part-time jobs. And there were occasions when the power was out because I couldn't afford it. There are all kinds of situations like that being in grad school, and you kind of juggling bills and trying to keep things afloat. I almost had to drop out a couple times just covering the family. I had a newborn son. If there was a problem, everybody looked at me. There was never a point where somebody looked at her and said, well, where's the light bill? No, her family, my family, her, anyone called me. Why isn't this, happening? So the onus is definitely on men. The social expectation remains on men. And this is part of the problem. Now, in relationships and in marriages, men's social role.
Stop the show. I mean, you, the, they tell me that black men are leaders. Black men want the responsibility. You get the responsibility. Now some hard times come up, and now they looking at you. Now all of a sudden, man, why y'all looking at me? Or you gonna look at this black woman over here, man? Why y'all looking at me, man? I mean, I'm working 3-4 jobs. I'm in grad school. I'm doing all I can. Can't pay the bills, man. Why y'all looking at me, man? Why don't y'all look at the black woman, man? I mean, I'm just one man. I can't pay all these bills. You know, I'm not even at the house, man. I don't even use the lights, man. She using the lights. She gotta be able to pay the light bill, man. Why y'all looking at me? Is this what we doing now, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson? Now we don't want the responsibility to pay the light bill? We trying to deflect blame over a light bill? I thought he was gonna say, man, I'm at grad school, I'm working 3-4 jobs, you know. When I came home, I just didn't have the energy. If you would have said that, I would have respected that. But the man got on a live stream talking about I was working 3-4 jobs, still couldn't pay the light bill. Everybody looking at me, and they need to be looking at that BW over there who keep leaving the light on in the bathroom when she leave the house. This is what your boy put on tape right here. We talking about a light bill.
Hasn't changed in the last 70 years. It's still the same. Hell, we still got the same birth control options we had in the 50s. So nothing has really changed in terms of what's expected of us, but everything has changed in terms of what's expected for or what women believe they can do. It's a very one-sided dynamic. So it was kind of inevitable that marriage was going to split. And I've been one to say that in many men, black men led the charge on what I consider to be a silent protest of marriage since the 70s. Because once you added in the family court, once you added in no fault divorce, once you added in, all these components where the state begins to come in and begins to legislate the marriage on her behalf, or divvy up what remains of the marriage on the dissolution of the marriage in her interest, whether it's child support, whether it's alimony, whatever it is, it becomes a problem. I mean, I have mentors right now who are in their 70s, women in particular, who have men they married in the early 1980s and divorced in the 80s who are still paying alimony to this day. You know what I mean? Yes, it's absolutely ridiculous. But these are the kind of standards in place. So the punishment for men of not living up to these social expectations is enforced by law.
We went from sexless marriages. Now we talking about state law, child support. We got dudes divorced in the 80s. It's 2021, so we talking 34, coming up on 40 years. And we still crying about alimony. This is where we got dudes who got down on bended knee in the 2010s, bended knee year 2000, bended knee year 1990s. They seen dudes in the 80s paying all this alimony. They still took they Muppet ass down and got a state sanctioned marriage, knowing that if you get a divorce, there's a possibility you could lose half, 75%, or like the good lawyer said, 100% depending on what you do. And dudes is still crying. If you roll the dice and you throw the dice and you crap out, you can't come on YouTube crying about state sanctioned this and child support and alimony for 30, 40 years, because that is the game of the rules. You knew the rules before you rolled the dice. If you crap out, this is what's going to happen to you. So if you don't want to play the game, take your ass away from the craps table and go to the little kids table and you could play Uno. I declare war, but stop bringing your muppet ass to the craps table where the big boys is at. You roll the dice and you crap out, and now you want to come and join the manosphere crying about state-sanctioned marriage. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this argument right here, because I'm tired of seeing these same muppet Negroes year after year get married, state sanctioned. They crap out in their marriage. They get hit for alimony, child support, and the whole nine. And they want to come to the manosphere and cry about
it. It's not just an arbitrary thing. It's not just, somebody talks about you and your reputation is sullied after. No, these things are impacting you through courts of law. And you can be punished if you don't maintain whatever the levied judgment is. And that's a problem. And that's one of the things that was so impactful when the lead attorney in your interview with him said that in places like Texas and in Georgia, divorce, you got a jury, right? So, and the jury's mostly comprised of women. And he's saying these women are deciding what you're going to have to pay when your marriage is over. That knocked me out of my chair. It's bad enough to have a judge arbitrarily give the majority of whatever whatever the marriage dissolution results in for her, but to have a jury add in, especially in an environment where manhood and maleness is inherently considered a negative, where husbands are automatically considered guilty, even if they haven't cheated or done anything like that, they're considered guilty for not figuring out how to make their wives happy. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. I want to kind of go back to this situation where, when you're in this, sort of relationship, is there any at least for you, was there any dating at least, or?
You mean me dating her?
With any talking, hey, how you doing, baby? Nothing like that.
We weren't hostile. It was we would cover the events of the day, especially as they pertain to my son. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, nah.
And she didn't want the divorce. She didn't want a divorce.
No. That was one thing. We both were children of divorce, and that was one thing. Again, that was one of those kind of things we had promised ourselves as children. Like, we were individually children. We didn't want to subject our children to divorce. So we both agreed on that, even though we had never discussed it. And we did eventually, but most of the marriage, we hadn't discussed it. It was just something we both believed, but that left us in a position where, we're both just staying somewhere, and that became a problem.
So let me ask you this then. Here's the big question for, in the manosphere, if you look at the manosphere kind of, and we don't really deal with a lot of, a lot of our content is catered toward guys who are in relationships, are married, but it's more suitable for guys that are single, picking up chicks and things like that. That tends to be more of the culture here.
Right.
I think it's been as of maybe in the last year that we're talking about, getting back with an ex as much, or relationship stuff like that. So we would give an antidote, or basically we would diagnose the situation as, okay, if she isn't sleeping with you,
right,
possibly,
right,
there's definitely probably no, there's a good probability there's someone else. In your experience, from people that that have gone through these sexless marriages, is the woman saying, okay, well, I'm just not ready to have sex with you right now, but you find out later on that indeed there is someone else
Shade, he over there pussyfoot. He don't want to ask the question. What O'Shea Duke Jackson is trying to ask Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, since your wife wasn't sleeping with you, was she getting banged out by another Negro? See, that's another problem with these dudes. They don't want to be direct. They pussyfooting, they tiptoeing around tough questions. You need to ask the tough questions. No coded language. Just give it to them hardcore. Hey, Dr. T, your wife wasn't sleeping with you. Was she getting her back blown out by another Negro? Did you suspect she was getting her back blown out by another Negro? If she was getting her back blown out by another Negro, what was going through your mind? What did you do? Did you get the divorce? But now we on YouTube and we pussyfooting.
That she is involved with.
That's a really good question, man, because I know online it's popular to say that. And if you don't say that she's cheating, it's looked at like you're blue pill, you really never you never really understood what she was really doing. So it becomes this kind of thing where you have to be able to say she's cheating or whatever. To be honest with you, the majority of the time that I've actually talked to men, and I've probably talked to a good 3 or 4 dozen over the last 5 years, it's rarely that. I mean, it can be. I'm not arguing that. It very well can be, but it doesn't have to be. Again, at the end of the day, when you're talking about a community that doesn't really know what marriage is, here's the thing. You for women in particular, they're socially rewarded, particularly by other women, for getting married, right? In terms of, and I've heard women talk about this, where women who are married will talk down to women who have never been married, right? So there's this kind of hierarchy, right, of social value, where marriage is higher for women that have actually gotten the ring. And then, there is a place for women who count how many proposals they get. So they kind of treat that like that's supposed to mean something. But there is this kind of social hierarchy. Now, for women that are married and have gone through this, it doesn't have to necessarily mean that they've had affairs. Some of them just shut down because, again, we've been socialized to get married. There's social value for women who get married. But what I found is a lot of people get married and stop. They know how to seduce someone. They know how to woo someone. They know about, what they've seen on TV about the romance of the wedding itself. Hell, the wedding industry they don't really even talk to the men. You walk into an establishment with your fiance to get a dress or to find a wedding. They talk to her,
right?
And then they give you the price, and you just got to go figure it out. So all of this has nothing. Men are not a factor in that regard. So all of this is building up this whole idea about what it means to get married. But many of us have never learned what marriage is. So the day
Stop the show right there. So your boy said. People know how to get married. They know how to woo their significant other, sweep her off her feet. But when they get married, then they don't know what to do to stay happy in that relationship. And I'm sitting here, man. You got it's 2021. You got Google. You got YouTube, whatever problems you have it in a relationship, you can literally search it on Google, read an article, multiple articles about it, or you could go on YouTube and watch a video and get step-by-step instructions on how to keep the fire going in your relationship. But time and day in and day out, they go through the same mundane ways about their marriage, and the next thing you know, you end up like Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. No disrespect to the brother, but 5 years in a sexless relationship, and now you on the Negro manosphere with O'Shea Duke Jackson crying about the gynocracy, crying about court. When this got nothing to do with court, this has everything to do with you and your wife and how you two are communicating with each other. So what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Because this is a long 45-minute video, and to listen to the great Dr. T. Hasan Johnson cry, make excuses, pussyfoot, not take responsibility, not take accountability for what he did. It's almost too much. It is almost too much for me to bear. This is supposed to be the great Dr. T. Hasan Johnson right here. The great Dr. T. Hasan Johnson. Somebody said Dr. T. Incel Johnson. This is supposed to be the great PhD, high value. And this is how your boy is going out. We got somebody on the show. We got Nuki Wookie. Tell us what's on your mind. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me? We cannot hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute. Okay, he dropped out. So let's get back to the interview and let's listen to the nonsense.
After the wedding, the day after the honeymoon is over, you'd be surprised how many people's personality radically shifts, because we've spent the majority of our lives with a particular understanding about what it takes to get married and what it's supposed to feel like, but we have no understanding of what daily marital life is supposed to look like. And so much of the time we use a rubric that doesn't fit. And I mean, again, nearly 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So, a lot of it has to do with how.
So Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, explain to us. One thing you didn't do was explain to us on how daily marital life is supposed to look like. It would have been nice for you to give some examples so people would know. We got my man, Brother Ray, on the show. Tell us what's on your mind.
Top of it, man. You know what I mean? It's like this here, man. You got to be careful with these manuscript guys, man, because at the end of the day, it's based on really getting a woman. Not too much don't get no money, nothing like that. It's a money grab, and it's also about getting some money. So when you talk about sexless marriages, first 0 before the 1. That's why I say, I will continue to say, get the woman who like you, not the one you like. And what happened was, she just fell out of love with this man. Obviously he must have been smaller, got big, and once she got big, she was no longer sexually attracted to that man. She was just with that man. And the moment a woman checks out of a relationship, man, it's a wrap, bro. And that's what she did for that man. Got on down. You know what I mean? Now he talking about 5 years in a sexless marriage. Bro, you should have checked that after week 2. It shouldn't even ever got to a month. You should have checked that on week 2. What's going on? And she would have kept on with that attitude, man. You know what? I ain't finna ask for no. I'm not going to ask for any permission to do whatever I want to do. You dig what I'm saying? I'm finna go out here and do me. And let the chips fall where they may. See, a lot of these guys scared of alimony and child support and things of that nature. Man, it's all about peace of mind. I wouldn't dare be with a woman. We had sex, get married, and now we having sex no more. The same thing you do to get the woman is the same thing you gotta do to keep them. And the problem with, especially with these high value tricks, especially the ones listening to Captain Samuels, they think the only thing they gotta do is show up, and that's it. You thinking just like the woman. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you did to do to get that woman to like you and to be committed to you is the same thing you got to do to keep her, and vice versa. And the moment you stop doing it, or you feel like you ain't got to do it, you can get on down. I'm not gonna put up with that. It's just like a job. You know what I mean? You got a job that paying $1 million a year, and you work your ass off, stay late hours and stuff like that, and you get the job, and now it's well, I don't really feel like doing the work. Instead of working 10 hours, now I want to work 2 hours. Now I want I want to come in when I want to come in because I done made the money now. You ain't finna be that long. So, you know what I mean? I really wish, you know what I mean? I see it, but you know what I mean, folks don't listen to me. Man, the same thing you do to get it, it's the same thing you gotta do to keep it. And as far as dating and stuff like that, you know what I mean? These dudes go on these dates for these women. You know what I mean? If you like her and she don't like you, you have to grow her interest in you. See, all he what he did was think, well, I'm married now, and I think that's what he did.
Yes,
I'm married now,
yeah.
so
So he got married and he stopped competing. Okay, okay. Let me
I
see.
was, and it's not competition. It's
What?
not it's not competition. It's what it is it's okay. You get married and you get relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
You figured you made it. Now I can rest. Ain't no resting. That's when the work start because you still gotta you there. You have to. It's not. It's kind of like getting. It's like getting rich. Getting rich is easy. Staying rich is hard. Getting married is easy. Staying married is hard. So I let somebody else chime in now.
All right, let's go to the simp formerly known since he dropped off, and let's see if he fixed his audio issues.
Can you hear me? Can you hear a brother?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, cool. Thank you for having me on, Grandmaster Troll. Now I want to say this, this brother, Dr. T. Hasan Johnson, he just sounds so boring. Like there's no spark to him, no essence, no life. Like he's just depressed. And I think that, and a lot of times in a marriage, I'm going to borrow from my father because, people like to harp on me for my lack of experience. In a marriage, people tend to get complacent, especially the men. I mean, you can go to a Walmart. Go pick out a man in Walmart because I like to use Walmart as your average barometer or your barometer for an average American. Most of the men in there, they're fat, they're out of shape, some in some way or form, tatted up. Same with the women, but we're focusing on the men right now. And I mean, I can't blame women. You gotta keep yourself up. You like Brother Ray said. The things that you did to get her, you gotta do those same things to keep her. You have to work out. You can't just get complacent. What does an artist do? What does Michael Jackson, Prince, Cardi B, what do these people do? They constantly reinvent themselves because if they were putting out the same material, it would get boring. It would get stale. You see, in a lot of guys, they're just stale. No personality, no nothing. I mean, you can have all the money in the world. You can have all the money in the world. You can have whatever nice face and everything. But if you don't have the personality, if you can't satisfy a woman emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, then you're out of luck, brother. And that's all I got to say. Thank you for having me on the panel. I'm out.
All right, the simp formerly known, aka Psycho
All right.
Candy. Let's go to Big Game.
All right. Peace out, GMT. I see. That was you. Anyway, man, this some BS, dude. as far as getting on Dr. T. Hasan Johnson for actually admitting that he was in a sexless marriage, for the simple fact that it's tons of dudes in sexless marriages. I was pointing this out the other day on Reg panel, and they was like, "Man, ain't no such thing as a sexless marriage." And dude, it's tons of people in sexless marriages, and it's not because he was fat or anything like that. For the simple fact that if you look recently, there was another dude. He was talking about him being in a sexless marriage, and this nigga played for the He was a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys.
A big
So,
more man, I can't say that name. It's a bit too long,
Big
man.
Game Orenthal James. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
it's for where I am, man. I'm not gonna be able to say that consistently. I just want to say, if I start like bashing Kevin Samuels, is Arsonist gonna come in here and start like, you know, getting mad and stuff? Because the videos on Kevin are always the funniest, man.
Come on, man. Let me rock, man. That was come on, bro.
Arsenal.
What the hell was that?
Let's
Y'all niggas crazy.
let's let Big Game finish his thoughts. Then we're gonna go to Zach. Then we're gonna go to the other Grandmaster Troll.
But yeah, it's not like I said. This nigga was a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, and his broad wasn't giving him no draws. So it's not about how good you look. It's not about how much money you got. These broads, once they get that leverage over you, a lot of times they'll switch up for whatever reason. It don't matter if, you know, maybe sometimes the guy did cheat. Maybe sometimes, you know, she just don't want to have sex no more because she don't feel like it. Either way, it don't matter. She still switched up, and you end up in a sexless marriage. You can be the best guy, the most money, like they was pointing out. As a dude, especially as black males, we're trained to want to please the woman. So for somebody to say, "Oh, he wasn't trying to please his woman," that's a total lie, because the average black dude, that's what he's trained to do. He don't see other races. They can have sex with a woman, and if they feel the woman didn't get off, it don't have no bearing on how they feel the next day, or how they feel about themselves as men. Whereas black dudes, if they not busting the draws down properly, they don't feel good the next day.
Come on, man. And what are we talking about? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But yeah, so that's a total misnomer, and that's totally false. Like that's not what's happening in these marriages. These bras, they just for whatever reason, they don't want to be with these niggas. It's not that he got fat, because he wasn't super obese like this the whole time. He was way less fat than he's gotten bigger, you know, since because his wife, he's actually a widower, so he's gotten bigger since his wife passed away. He wasn't always huge like that. He probably going through a ton of different type of depression and stuff because his wife died.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's raising his son by himself. So that's the type of stuff that happens. And at the end of the day, us getting on here roasting him and stuff like that, that's not gonna help men overall. What needs to happen is we need to understand, we need to make it to where these broads can't put you in a damn sexual marriage, in a sexless marriage. So what happens is, like I said, like now, okay, I'm in a sexless marriage. I don't want to get divorced. I don't want to pay alimony, or I don't want to get my child taken away, or I don't want to or like he said, him and his wife, they pretty much made a pact to not get divorced. So now he's stuck, and it's not that he didn't vet his wife properly. She switched up on him. And that's what a lot of times these bras will do when they get that leverage over you.
No,
I'll pass the mic.
Come on, son.
He played craps and he crapped out. But if he would have never played craps, he would have never crapped out. But we're gonna go to Zach and then Kevin Samuels' defense force, and then to the other Grandmaster Troll.
Look like they trolling hard. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Shit, my bad. I'm at work, but I think that I think Big Game got a point. It's not so much that a lot of these guys get in these marriages and it's sexless. I think that like you said, a lot of women change, man. Once they get that security, they will change up. And it's several reasons why women, get married to men and then after a few years stop having sex with some of these guys. You got guys who actually, I mean, make money and still don't have access to sex from their own wife like that. It's several reasons, but I think this is one of the issues that, like, even with this space, try to tell men about the idea of marriage. Like, you're putting yourself in a compromised position. Just the idea of, trying to be committed to that one woman and trying to be loyal. And like, if you think about it, just logically as a man, if your wife really not giving you sex, you're going to get it somewhere else. But since you have that commitment, you see what I'm saying? Since you already married, you trying to keep your family together and all that. So most guys ain't going to want to divorce their wife, so they try to make it work, and it put them in a compromised position.
Okay.
Very true.
Let's go to Kevin Samuels' defense force.
Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels.
Salute. Salute. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat room. Salute to the Defense Force, FBI, CIA. Where we go one, we go all. Kevin Samuels Defense Force. But before I address the topic, I want to address Kevin, this Neanderthal, this troglodyte, this average at best man, whoever this troll is. I would like to say one thing to you. There is no proof that Kevin, Saint Kevin, is a gay man. And beyond that, high value men, gay, none of these things apply to high value men. The only thing that applies is being high value, holding the line, getting hills, Red Bull, scented candles, and RGB lights. Kevin Samuels Defense Force, where we go one, we go all. But to the topic, unfortunately, a man that is in a sexless marriage is obviously not a high value man. And unfortunately, even while married, he's average at best. He's going to die alone. The only thing that can save Dr. T. Hasan Johnson is bending the knee to the altar of Kevin Samuels, Saint Kevin, the Godfather himself, and embracing the values, the philosophies, and the principles of being a high value man. Then, and only then, will he be able to walk the path of a high value man and hopefully, maybe hopefully, be able to have sex with a married woman, preferably the one he's married to now. Salute.
Hey, real quick, GMT, I want to clear something up as well. Another thing that's not being said, a sexless marriage, the way they defined it is basically not having sex at least once a month. So even if you're having sex less than 12 times, technically you're in a sexless marriage. So I want to point this out. It's a lot of niggas who probably in the chat talking trash and they got their wives and they probably having sex 10 times, 9 times. They don't even realize they in a sexless marriage, and they acting like they that nigga, but they not. So I want to make sure I clear that up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that. A lot of guys do act like they got it like that, like they really like, and it's kind of funny when you hear these guys. Oh, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. Well, how the hell we know? I mean,
exactly.
Sometimes women not gonna want to have sex with you. That don't mean that you don't have access to sex. It's just this is why you don't have to have it. You have to have a rotation. I hate to say it, man. That's why getting married.
The only way you know that they don't have that problem, the only way you can confirm that is if the man is high value. Because of course, high value men do not deal with the issues that are being discussed right now. So, salute.
Yeah, man. But I really think that a lot of guys have to get to the mindset even when they get in a marriage. This is why it's important that men have options. That don't mean that you. I mean, I'm not gonna tell a man not to marry. Me personally, the laws ain't good enough for me to do. I just don't see the.
The only options that men need to be concerned with is a collection of kitten hills, the flavors of Red Bulls, the types of scented candles, and how many RGB lights they have in their room. Preferably one black pair of kitten hills and one chocolate brown pair of kitten hills. You accomplish all of these things and bend the knee to Kevin Samuels, St. Kevin, the Godfather himself, and you'll never have to worry about these issues the men are discussing on the panel. Kevin Samuels Defense Force, where we go one, we go all. Salute.
Funny.
Can I go now?
Yeah, what you got for us, Kevin?
Is everything clear? Is my audio clear?
Absolutely not. You may not speak. You may never speak. Under no circumstances
Here's
we
the
will
thing.
not
Listen,
tolerate
Kevin
any
Samuels
blasphemy of Kevin
Defense
Samuels.
I don't have
We
anything
will
against
never
Kevin. I was
tolerate blasphemy against the Godfather himself, Kevin
all right. The
Samuels.
Godfather himself. Okay,
We will
yeah.
never
Aren't we supposed to talk
tolerate
about
it.
the
We
topic,
hold the
brother?
line everywhere we go.
And then
we go
the
one,
it's coming right after this.
we
Listen,
hold the line at all
it's coming.
times.
The
Under no circumstances
I know what's
any
coming. I'm just gonna
blasphemy
shut up, bro.
All right, go
be
ahead, Kevin.
tolerated against Kevin Samuels. We hold the line for the Godfather himself. He must be protected at all times. From all arrows, tanks, asteroids, black holes, everything must be protected.
I have a question,
From the
Kevin
Godfather
Samuels
himself.
Defense Force. I understand all that. I have a
Your
question.
question is irrelevant.
No, I have a real
Your question is irrelevant.
Hold on, Kevin
Under
Samuels.
no circumstances.
Hold on, Kevin Samuels Defense Force. Let my man Kevin speak. He got something he wants to say.
Okay,
You will
yeah.
say my GMT salute.
Yeah, salute. Salute the Cuda, salute the Kevin Scoots. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, okay. Let me just say this. How, was that girl that you were showing at like the beginning? Like, you know, the one, you know, on her legs and, you know, on her knees and everything. Was that his wife?
No, that's Bob
Nah.
Cherry.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking that's impossible. Like this guy, if he can't pay the bills, how is he getting like, you know, not to say that that's anything really, that he looks good, but yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that man has failed. He's failed. Now let's take a estimate at his age, 40. All right, and that's a good estimate, right, guys? Can anybody like clear that? That's a good estimate, like 40, 45, you know, so in between that.
That's a good guess, I would say.
Yes. All right. Now, I thought we were, you know, we talking about some bills before. He was barely keeping up. Did anybody talk about that? Like, I'm pretty sure. Kevin, you are childish, bro.
We talked about it a little bit.
But when you point that out, this is before the sexless part though. He's a tenured professor. He's been a professor for a long time.
Yeah, I want to say this was back in grade school, so he's probably closer to 20.
Oh, to like 20 years old?
Yeah, he was in grade. He was in
grad school. He was probably around like 24, 25, or you know, maybe
when all that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's probably closer to his late 40s now.
Let's say university. Let's give him 100K.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
And let's say that he had no money problems. And you know, you say that he looked all right before this. You say that all this trauma and stress have done this to him. Truly, I think the man's just a loser. Like, clearly something was probably going on beforehand. Like, because trust me, women, they typically only do this kind of stuff, you know, when they already have another person lined up. I mean, truly. I mean, how long has it been since his wife left him? I mean, all right, you know. You are so childish.
So
No, his wife
his
actually
wife
died.
passed
His
away.
wife is dead. Yeah.
All right, and he was cheating on her beforehand.
I mean, you could say that. That would be alleged. I don't think he was confirming that. But
Oh, come on, man.
and no, and
See,
she had can't remember. Well, she had cancer, so she was sick. So
all right, okay.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing.
don't know.
And here's the thing. I don't know why he's still talking about this. Why would share an L like that? He clearly just needs to move on. Does he have any savings left? I mean, like from the looks of it, he doesn't look good. I can tell. When you're a high value man, you probably have a little bit more money. Oh my God! Can you stop the music, bro? I can barely hear anything.
Hold on, let my man Kevin go. Let my man Kevin.
Yeah,
speak.
no, he's a tenure professor at a university.
So let's say I was making $100K every year. Let's hope that he paid off his house. It doesn't really matter to me. He's not a baller. However you look at it, he's not a baller.
What are we talking about? Come on, man.
Okay.
Kevin, not defense boy, but Kevin, let me ask you a question. Why do guys tie their manhood up to their money? Because it appears as if everything you said about, his money and stuff like that, man, and from where I'm sitting at, I'm talking about, a woman, a woman really don't crave the money. A hoe, listen to me. A hoe is attached to money. Women are attached to your character.
Man, what are we talking about?
You dig what I'm saying? So, what I mean?
Nope. I can understand that to a level, but trust me.
Nope.
Every relationship comes with, okay, I will never be able to say I love someone regardless of anything, man. Because there's usually a trade-off. And this is a Kevin Samuels thing, Defense Force. So, you'll be happy about this. I don't really have any quarrel with you're never gonna, women are never gonna get work. I can barely see same thing. I can barely see anything. Can you like move him, Grandmaster? Please. I mean, no ill will against but like I can't see anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk and hope that you deal with it. Everything comes with a trade-off. Every single thing in life comes with a trade-off. Nothing is truly free in life. All right, you go to someone, they give you a free pamphlet. They're usually asking for your time. All right, nothing is free in life. Nothing
what are we talking about?
Ever,
Come on,
ever.
Man. Come on,
just,
man.
Oh,
Come
I love
on,
you
man.
unconditionally.
Come on, man.
That
Come on,
never
man.
happens.
Come on, man.
Usually,
Come on, man.
the man has something
how many
that the
push-ups
woman
you want to do here, pal? Oh, come on, man.
Why Kevin Sam's Defense Force, dude? Just stop, bro. Kevin's not gonna let you smash. All right,
Do us a favor and get to your point.
I'm
it's so
getting to my point.
unfortunate for people to insult the saint, the Godfather himself, and not master the ability to get to the point or make a coherent point. It's so unfortunate. You would get further in life if you just bend the knee to the Godfather himself and understand his grace and accept it. And soon you will be able to make a point and make a coherent point.
No. Let's take.
Unfortunately,
this is Kevin.
You lack that ability. Unfortunately, you're unable to do it.
This is a straight
Unfortunately,
man. Look at this
you're
guy,
average
bro.
at best.
He looks like
going to die alone. Salute
this
to
is
you
not a straight
from the
man.
wall itself.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with what he's saying, but this is not a straight man. You're delusional if you think that is. And he's right. He's right about 100% of what he says.
That doesn't understand the grace
look at this
and the
bro.
awesomeness of Kevin Samuels himself.
His flame on fire.
He limit himself to trolling the Godfather himself. And not even be able to
whatever, bro. Again,
point.
you're irrelevant, bro.
Rambling, endlessly rambling on. Not making any sense.
You and Arsenalists are insane, bro. I like Kevin, but you and Arsenalists are insane, bro. You take it
average at best.
Anyway,
you're going to die alone.
Usually there's a
painful death. With no Kid Hill, no Red Bull, at your side to comfort you as the light leaves your soul and your body,
Anyway, yeah, there's
and you
usually
see the
trade-off.
darkness come
A
across
woman
you,
typically will never
the
date
only thing you'll
like
be
a
able to
felon who's
remember
been involved
is the
with slavery,
fact
correct?
that you decided
Not
to
any
control the
sane woman.
Godfather himself. And in your time of need,
All right, I'm just
and in
gonna
your
let this
dire
go on and
hours,
on.
as the clock strikes 0 on your pathetic, pitiful life, you'll reach up and ask for a hand from the saint himself.
All right, Kev
And no
says
hand will be given to
came up and
you
I'll came up, man. How about
because
that?
you're a
Let's
tortured
see how much of a
soul
high value man
and
you are,
you're
bro.
average
I'll
at best,
came up, bro. Came up and I'll
and
came
you're
up.
cursed to die alone with
You
your
are obsessed with
kitten,
that man. I've
no
seen your
kitten
channel.
hills,
I like it. I'm
your
subscribed to it, but you
collection
are
of Dragon
obsessed with
Ball
that
Z
man.
cards,
All right, this
and
clown
empty
thing is
cans
going on.
of
Usually there's a
Ensure
trade-off,
strawberry flavored
man
milk.
and a
How
woman.
unfortunate it is to
100.
be a
Let's say
person
a
like you.
professor at a
Salute to
college.
you nonetheless
100,000. If he,
in
let's
your
just say, if he
unfortunate
made 12K,
experience
he'd
to
never
lead you
get
to
that
this
girl
point
probably.
right now,
So let's
where
see
you
this.
decide to troll
Something
the
as
Godfather himself
necessary. I won't say it's
and not
necessary,
make a single
right?
coherent point.
If he isn't
We
getting that,
hold the line
that
wherever
means
we
the
go.
standards went up.
The
And
Godfather
listen,
himself
and I'm
will
not
be
putting out a situation that
defended.
you got too sick
There will
to,
be
you
no
know.
blasphemy
But
tolerated.
oh my
We
God,
will
you're
not
obsessed with him, bro.
tolerate
Anyway, yeah.
his name being sullied
There's a
by
part
the
of the
likes of
checklist
you.
that clearly
You
fell off.
will never,
Clearly, he wasn't checking
ever,
off the entire list anymore,
ever
or maybe
have
he
a
just added
second
more to the
in
list.
the
But
universal time
trust me,
to speak
there is
ill
usually a
of the
trade-off.
Godfather
Only an
himself.
insane woman would go with
Under
any
no
single man. It doesn't
circumstances
make sense.
will you be
Equal the
allowed
child diddler
to
at that
speak
point.
ill
You know
of
what I
Saint
mean?
Kevin.
There is always a trade-off. And I'm not saying to be high value, brother Ray, you need to be making 100K. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, brother Ray. But I'm sure someone could back me up and say that there's
No one
usually
can back you up because no one speaks dust.
no
No
one
one
speaks
is a translator for dust. Unfortunately, no one understands what you're saying. That's why no one is
All
responding
right,
to
yeah.
you.
Can anybody like back me up here and
Google
say that there's usually a
Translate
trade-off? Please.
does not
Can
have a
anybody
filter
back me
for
up?
dust. You cannot Wikipedia the dust language.
Can
No
anybody
one
back me up when I
understands
say
what
there's
you're
usually a
saying.
trade-off? Please,
It's so
anybody.
unfortunate
I really can't hear
to
what
be
you're
an
saying.
illegal alien from the nation
Oh.
of dust, trying to speak ill of the Godfather himself, Kevin
I'm just gonna
Samuels.
shut up, bro.
All right,
Kevin
hold on,
However,
hold on, Kevin Samuel's defense for us. Let's let Kevin speak and don't try to interrupt.
You couldn't hear
him.
me? Oh, all right. So here's the thing. Did you guys hear the trade-off part?
No.
Yeah, you said
All
with
right.
men and women there'll be trade-offs.
There's a trade-off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is always a trade-off. And listen, people say a lot of things that aren't true. I love him unconditionally, no matter what you do, honey. So just tell me what you did last Friday. Well, I was at this girl's house and get out of the house right now. Like, that's the kind of thing that people can expect. Women lie when they say they love men unconditionally. That's a lie. Men lie when they say they love women unconditionally. If she was 800 pounds, I mean, it may be bad to leave her in that state, but you know you'd leave, and a sensible man would. If it turns out she has like 4 kids she never told you about, you know, do you still love her unconditionally? Again, there's always a trade-off. Let's say he was making 100K. He was okay looking. And, you know, let's just think about a checklist here. A woman usually has a checklist, a mental one that, you know, not like she writes it down. Only crazy women write stuff like this down. But usually there's a mental one. If he made
What are we talking
$1,000
about?
a year,
Come
just
on,
$1,000
man.
a year,
Come on,
let's say he
man.
was a
Come
poor
on,
farmer,
man.
you'd
Come on,
never
man.
find him attractive.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
So in this situation, there is a trade-off.
Why the hell would
And
I take a test?
And clearly, after a while,
Come on, man.
he wasn't
Come on,
meeting the
man.
checklist
Come
anymore.
on,
Oh
man.
my God, Kevin,
What
I
is he
can't say
doing?
something,
Come on,
man.
man.
They can't say suspense
Give me a
words. Let
little
me
break
listen.
here. But everybody knows who this guy is. Come on, man.
All right,
Come
yeah,
on.
Joe
Come on,
Biden,
man.
right.
Get a life.
All right, yeah. So usually, typically, what I think in these situations is he wasn't meeting the checklist. Simple as that. Something happened. She either wanted more from him, or he just something fell off. You know, who knows? You got That's all I have to say. Because Kevin Samuels Defense Force is unbelievable, bro. I'm done with him.
How unfortunate it is to be an illegal alien from the nation of dust and not even be able to communicate with people in the land that you occupy. No one understands what you're saying. No one cares. No one cares what you have to say. You're not making any sense. The best thing about waking up, I'll leave it at that.
Well, I would say this. You know what I mean?
No,
The
but
best way.
you agree with what I said? Did you hear the checklist part and how we didn't meet it? Probably.
Well, I would say this. You know what I mean?
No,
When you
no
say-
one was listening. Everyone fell asleep, unfortunately.
when
No
I-
one was paying attention.
Cam up, Kevin Samuels Defense
when I say this, man. You know the
This
best.
is the camera. Defense Force is an all culmination of all the greatness.
Listen to this fool, bro. I have nothing against Kevin. I have nothing against Kevin, bro.
The Defense Force is a culmination
Brother Ray, I
of
get
all
it.
the supporters,
I remember
all
watching
the
it. I think
energy,
you don't agree
all
with
the
his
light
doctrine
that they
about the
send
high
to Captain
value man.
Samuels
I mean,
that he
I
uses
haven't.
to burn, distract demons from the edges of these women.
You know,
Here's the
it gets
light.
old. You know what I mean? Like, you and Arsenalists are just crazy, bro. I like Kevin says Defense Force. I like you, bro. You make people laugh. You and Arsenalists make people laugh. But sometimes, bro, I'm
And
just
you
trying to
make me
say,
cry. Tears covered in
Kevin,
Red Bull.
what is
How
wrong with you, bro?
unfortunate. How unfortunate.
All right, hold on. Let's go to Brother Ray and let's go to Big Game.
Yes. Clearly, they need to talk some more, man. Because
I'm like this here, man. When it comes to women, you know what I mean. The best indicator of interest from a woman, man, is she spend her money on you. That's the best indicator of interest. So if a woman ain't spent the money on you, she might not really like you like that. See, and when a man the man shows love to a woman by spending time, and a woman shows love to a man by spending money. So if a man don't have a vetting checklist, that's why I have a video on all this to where, you know what I mean. If you're a so-called high value male, and that's why I tell guys to if you single, do a job posting on yourself. Do this in requirements. Do this requirements and the benefits of being with you. A lot of times you gotta understand with these so-called high value males, these so-called high earners, there's no benefit of being with them. The cost benefit analysis is so low where a female would rather go to a dude who ain't got no money that's slanging dick out the frame and be with him opposed to a guy who earned a lot of money, who gave his ass a kiss and can't slang no dick.
All right. So no, here's the thing. I agree with that. Truly, I agree with that. Because listen, I've had this problem all my life, where women think I'm this Pookie and Ray Ray. Trust me, I'm not. You know what I mean? I can't keep them off me. Here's the problem with that. Nope.
This nigga lying his ass off.
Nope. I've had that problem all my life. All my life. I can't keep them off me. I'm buying like 200 condoms a week at this point. Nope. I feel I used to think that was cool, right? But I'm taking the women from these good guys, and okay, they're losers. The good guy is a loser. Whatever, bro. He you know, I sling crack. Okay, I make a lot of money doing that. So technically, I'm on the higher echelon of these Pookie and Ray Rays. I've been able to avoid police detection for years. But here's the thing: I'm tired. You know, I'm beginning to think it's immoral to take women from these good guys. You know, they may be losers in comparison to me. I mean, not everybody's a baller like me, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
What are we talking about?
Brother Ray, you can attest to this. Like, you can say that, you know, I gotta stop taking these women, right? Because it's
No,
fair for guys to-
because the thing is, you gotta understand, you know what I mean. The door open from the inside, not the outside. You can't take her that ain't ready to go. So if she was already ready to go, if you can take her, and the thing is, if a dude could take your gal, they won your gal in the first place.
No, listen here, man. I usually tend to hate the woman after, we do the thing. I usually tend to hate the woman, but it's okay since I go through like 10 a week at this point. But I'm beginning to feel bad for guys like him who have, most certainly taken women from, whose women have just fallen for me out of some sort of deluded, thing in their mind.
What are we talking about? Come
The
on,
thing
man.
is, you can't take a woman. You can't take a woman from nobody who ain't ready to go. You dig what I'm saying? If a chick really like a dude, there ain't nothing you can do to take that woman away from that man. Now, if she don't really like him like that, you know what I mean, and he likes her, and she don't like him, then yeah, you have an opportunity to take this woman. That's why I always advocate get with the girl who like you, not the one you like. You don't have them in a problem like that.
Brother Ray, let me just say this, man. Brother Ray, let me just give you the situation in my life right now. All right, I've really gotta. I'm at the point in my life. Yeah, let's see. Kevin, say what you need to say. Get it out of your system, bro. Kevin Samuels Defense Force. Get it out of your system, bro. I'm from the island of
average at best, and you're going to die alone. And in that lonely grave that you're going to dig for yourself will be the bag full of lies that you're telling to all these men and all these women that are listening to you. No one believes anything that you're saying. No one believes all the lies that you're telling. No one believes you. How unfortunate it is to lie about exploits that you've never had with people that you've never met, doing things, talking about things that you've never done. How unfortunate.
All right, hold on. It's getting late. Final thoughts. I'm gonna shut this
All right,
one down and go to
is
sleep.
Final thoughts is this, Brother Ray. I understand where you're coming from, man-wise, where you're saying like, a woman's not gonna leave unless she like really likes the guy, and she's not gonna go unless she's ready to go. Here's the thing. You have to understand the situation where I am in my life. I'm 23, all right, and I have more like at the current moment in time, the government, I'm really off their track records now. Like technically speaking, I'm supposed to be dead to them. I'm
GMT,
dead.
may I ask you one question, please? GMT.
Yes, sir.
May I ask the host of the call? What does the sentence "last thoughts" mean?
It means the last thoughts. Whatever your last thoughts, you say them and you
It
get
won't
off
be
the
long.
ship.
Kevin, these are your last thoughts, pimp. You can go on and on about how you love Kevin Samuels. He's not gonna let you smash, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. Kevin is not gonna let you hit. Kevin only deals with high value men.
No, keep going. You're doing an excellent job.
You're doing an excellent job defending your black king. Again, I have nothing wrong with Kevin. Truly, I don't. But you and Arsonist, I think if you put yourself on. Again, if you put yourself on.
Let's let Soldier say his final thought.
If you put yourself online in any way, it may be unfounded. It may be undeserved. It may be this, and that. But you are not. You're not impenetrable. Impenetrable. That's not the right word, but you can expect to get criticism. You're not devoid of any criticism. You can get it in any way. You could be a completely regular dude. Oh, his nose is funny. That would still be. It's still something that you can do. You can't avoid that. As much as you want to say that unfounded, you and Arsenal, you'll defend this at the end of the time. If you put yourself online, you already automatically have opened up a free range of insults. That to me is the truth. And I'm just gonna say this. And I'm moving off this Kevin Samuels thing because he's most certainly a homosexual. I'm not saying anything he says is wrong, but he's definitely a homosexual. You've seen the picture. I mean, you've seen the picture that I showed you. I mean, come on, You can't tell me that the
Come on, man. What are
man's
we
not.
talking about? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
This is your guy, bro.
Come on, man.
Again, really,
Come
Kevin
on,
Samuels,
man.
Force? You can't
Come
defend
on,
that,
man.
really.
What are we
Look at what
talking
this guy's
about?
wearing
Come
as
on,
an
man.
old man.
Come on.
But anyway,
May I
you
ask
know, forget about all
GMT a
that.
question, please?
Again, I have to.
GMT, may I ask you a question?
What is last thoughts mean? Yeah, you're gonna
GMT,
say
may
that.
I ask you a question?
Yes.
What does the sentence final thoughts mean?
It means hurry up, nigga.
Salute.
Salute, yeah, salute, DJ Kuda. You know, I saw your old video, man. Here's the thing, as a Pookie, I've got to keep women off me 24. Like
GMT,
it's
may I
hard
ask
at
you a
this point.
question?
Like,
GMT, may I ask you another question? What does the sentence final thoughts mean?
It means say what you got to say so I can shut the stream
I'm
down.
trying to say it, man. I'm trying to say it. This Kevin Samuels guy won't stop. Listen, what I'm trying to say is, last thought, last sentence here. I think
Come on, son.
it is immoral for a man like
Come on, son.
to take women away from guys like him.
Come on, son.
And I'm tired of doing it. I'm gonna stop doing it because it's immoral. And I think other men have to call men out on this. You should not be messing with a woman who's already in a relationship. You have to call men out who do this. And trust me, I've had to call myself out. Because just this year alone, 160 women. And I can assure you that 30 of them had husbands. Alright? So I've got to stop it myself. 160 women. It's just too much. Alright? And I feel like these are good guys, you know. I'm not saying like I'm a total player here. But trust me, I'm definitely a catch. If you ever saw me in person, you know. And another thing, I don't believe that Kevin Samuels has to beat away 25 years with a stick. Trust me, that's a lie, bro. Listen, I agree with a lot of what he says, but that's a lie, bro. He is not getting in relationships with these young women. All right. So I'm just gonna stop right here.
All right. Final thoughts, Brother Ray.
Yeah. Far as Kevin Samuels go, man, you know, I ain't gonna say too much about that clown, man. But
Hold on, Kevin Samuels. Let's let him get his final thoughts. Let's let him get his final thoughts.
But you know, all the so-called high value thing, you know what I mean? Really, what he doing is he giving a lot of dudes who are mainly incels and trick sucking and busters. You dig what I'm saying? He giving them high self-esteem, and so you know, for the women they can't get, they can't get. He gave them a term so they can try to look down on women and try to shame women into being with them lames. But as far as this go, and as far as anything go, you know what I mean? How it starts and how it ends. If it start with tricking, gonna end with tricking. If it start with respect, it's gonna end with respect. You know what I mean? And the thing is, once you get, it's just like getting money. Marriage, anything worth having, whatever you did to get it, or the same thing you gotta do to keep it. And that's it.
Never a true word. Like, that's the truest thing I've ever heard, man. Real talk.
All right, let's go to big game orange
Hello,
thought,
be heard?
James.
So yeah, I just want to say, it's things like this. Like, we as men need to stop shaming each other for people being, you know, in whatever dire situation they're in, due to this, you know, the system that allows people to have leverage over you. And also, I just got to say this, like, this is a weird space, man. You got people who are incels making fun of incels. Like, you got people who are fat, short losers making fun of other people that's fat, short losers. Like, this is the only place where a nigga can come and act like he is, you know, whatever, and then he's the exact same thing that he's making fun of. So this is why I think we need to stop with the false bravado, because it just breeds niggas faking and fronting.
Big,
Like,
I'm never gonna stop selling crack, bro. So you can just stop right there. And trust me, bro, I'm ripped, bro. And you could never take me in a fight. Trust me.
come on.
I mean, you know how many
But
guns
no,
I have
just
over here, man?
What are we talking
but
about?
let me come on, let me rock. Let me finish. But yeah, like I said, we as men, we need some sort of codification, because women, they're 100% codified, and they're all just like how he said in the when he was pointing out the therapist. The therapist is gonna tell you, is gonna basically say, "Hey, nigga, you don't deserve sex, and this is why." And she's correct in not giving you sex. So men needs the same sort of codification. So look, dude, just if you short and fat, you don't have to have no false bravado and say you get bitches. Like, we know you're not getting no bitches. We know you don't have no swag.
Come
We
on,
know,
man.
like, a lot of
What
you
are we
niggas, we
talking
see
about?
you niggas. We see you niggas on the screen. We know you niggas are clowns. We know you niggas don't got no money.
Come on,
Like,
man.
just
What are we
accept
talking about?
you an
Come
incel,
on,
just
man.
like the
Come on,
just like the
man.
niggas that
Come
you talking
on,
about.
man. Come
And
on,
then
man. Come
we'll
on,
be
man.
able to
Come on, man. Come
come on,
on, man.
man. But
Listen
yeah,
to
just
me,
accept.
Big. You're
But
just
and let me
mad
finish.
you
Let me
can't
finish,
make
man.
$300,000 a week selling
Just
crack.
but
Simple as
let
that,
me
bro.
finish. Let
If
me
you
finish
could,
though.
you would, pimp, and you could get away with it. You could, you would, because
I'm just about to real quick. So yeah, if we as men had some level of codification, then we could have some real relationships with these broads, man. But y'all don't want to have no relationships with these broads. Like y'all want to be subject to the whims of their feelings. And that's all I got. Have a good one. Thanks for letting me on, GMT.
No problem, no problem. Kevin Samuels Defense Force, it's on you.
Salute. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat room. Salute to Kevin Samuels for accomplishing a feat of obtaining 100,000 subscribers and receiving his silver play button. Salute to the Godfather. Nothing else needs to be said. His work speaks for himself. So I'll just play the outro.
Come on, son.
I gotta say one more thing in 10 minutes.
Give me a 7. Height, weight, size, but never a 7. Never
Kevin Samuels Defense Force, you will never be me, bro. You'll never make, you'll never make $1 million in a week. You'll never be anything in life. He's not gonna let you smash. Just stop. Just stop, Kevin Samuels Defense Force. You are worthless, bro. I used to think, like, I like Kevin, but I don't like you, bro. You come in here and you talk from, I mean, arsonist is right about one thing. Black people can't behave in relation to other black people. Clearly. I mean, look at you, man. You are worthless, bro. This is your god, bro. I mean, stay obsessed with another man. Stay obsessed with this man. This totally straight man. Stay obsessed with this totally straight man. Stay obsessed with this totally straight man. Stay obsessed with this totally straight man. You are worthless, bro. When you gonna grow up, bro? I mean, you're a follower for the rest of your life. That man is not straight. He may be right, but he's not straight. I'm telling you, bro. You should have been banned out here, dude. Like, Arsonist, he's publicly banned. Like, people just don't like him. You're getting annoying, bro. You're getting annoying. And one of these days, I'm gonna track that IP and pull up. That's the way I see it, man. And trust me, I'm 250 pounds, 6'4", and I've got nothing but muscle. You can't take me. I can assure you, you can't take me. You can't take me. Yeah, salute your black king, bro. Yeah, keep on sucking them off. Great.
All right, I had to cut. I couldn't take no more. But y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, the most dangerous troll on YouTube. I don't know how we got to Kevin Samuels, but somehow we did. But I'm ending the stream. Thanks to all the people who supported. Hunter Biden came through with a $5 Cash App. Can you mod my troll account? Just put in the comment section your troll account. I could have sworn I had you modded up before already, but go ahead and let me know. Hold on, let's see if I can. Nope, that won't work. Yep, just let me know whatever your troll account is, and I'll mod it up. But other than that, I'm closing this one. It's late, 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta get some sleep. It's your boy.